Big data analysis in education sector is something which is desirable right now. This big data analysis in education sector will help in academic analytics, right? First thing, how academic analytics, it will help in understanding the learners academic analytics also and the providers analytics also, right? The education provider and the learner, the analytics of both can be taken up, right? Where at the macro level, many training programs in a university can be generated using big data, right? At the meso level, many courses in an academic year is being generated, right? In the micro level, one course in a training program is generated, is being brought into, and in a nano level, one activity in a course. This is how big data can generate various things in education, right? That will help in improving the learning ability as well as the complete academic ability. So one course in one activity in one courses, many such courses, right? Many such programs and many such training courses which are being generated, right, by the university. So in this way, big data analytics would help in improvising each and every step through which the education is being provided, right? In school education, it will help in management of the high speed connectivity of the schools, the networks which are being created. National Knowledge Network is also one example of it, right, where the universities are constantly connected over multi-gigabit network with each node getting 1 gigabit per second. Management of each node, the data which is present on each node, the services which are to be provided on each node would be managed over here. Data privacy and security would be taken into care of. Digitalized records of students would be created and they would be managed also. High quality low cost devices, they can be managed, provided with the data analytics itself. Quality control and content resources, this would be most important. What is the nature of content, what are the errors, how to manage those content, that can be taken up. This can be in school, this can be in university itself, right? Internet access provided at home, management of it, right? Online portal sharing digital courses and materials, etc. they can be generated. High quality low cost devices, etc. So overall, this will help to manage the students. The classroom structure can also be managed over here, right? Digital classrooms can be created, e-learning can also be generated, quality services can be provided, and then it will help to understand what are the problems faced by each and every student, because there would be a large scale analysis generated from every node, every student which is connected on online platform. The connectivity, the time that is spent, or the understanding levels can also be taken up, analyzed, and then interactive or activity relative to the type of interaction which is required or desired by every particular student can be created also, right? So improvising in digital education, it helps in enhancing the grading systems. Of course, we can we can analyze different grades, understand the pattern, mine the pattern, understand what are the problems with the student, and then solve the problems with the better interaction also. Career guidance to the students, constantly different types of the student, different requirements, different types of the subsets of the data would be generated, and ultimately using those subsets of the data, we can help to provide the guidance to students towards choosing different paths, right? Proposing new learning plans, etc. can be generated, right, with the help of big data analysis itself. So overall in education, the big data would be useful in teacher and learning analytics, right? Teaching and learning analytics can be generated where a big data framework is generated, the user's behavior and attitude is understood, learner strategies can be improvised, many learner strategies can be taken up, right? Depending upon different types of the learner, different nature of the learner, the strategy can be different. Adaptive learning would mean adapting onto the we can say the teaching modules adapt onto the needs which are desired from the learner. Not learner must adapt to teaching, rather teaching must adapt to learner is adaptive learning, right? Learner's satisfaction would be higher in this way, right? It will also help to develop various statistical tools and measurements to improvise the educational system, right? Where educational research implications can also be managed, research and education integration can also be created, ranking systems can be provided, right? Use of different websites big data training, etc., and big data effectiveness and challenges can also be created over here, where improvement in education system can be brought into. Then integration of big data into curriculum can also be created, where integration of big data into curriculum would help to provide the insight related to the curriculum, the basic utility of the curriculum with the industry, or the education and employment gap can be reduced, and far better curriculums can be created so that skill development can be more realistic towards the industry needs. So the education employment gap can be reduced and curriculum can be improvised over here. That can also be big data, because this is one of the major problem right now. Our education does not provide the desired set of the skills. So what is desired must be involved in curriculum. So that gap can be filled with the big data analysis also constantly, because the needs would change constantly. So the curriculum or the desired set of the skills can change, right, over a period of time. Then modeling and educational data warehouses, right? Data warehouses or databases can be created, where cloud environment, big data modeling, cluster analysis, and data warehouses can be created, right? We can create massive open online courses. These are repositories of, we can say, digital content, right? What type of the content, which syllabus, which topic, which student, which class, all of it can be created with the help of big data analysis. And when it becomes online classes, then online classes held at one platform and relate to different student according to different utilities and different interests. Using the big data analysis, it can be provided also. So learner behavior performance, modeling and educational data warehouses, integration of big data into curriculum, and an improvement of education system. All of this can be the basic utility where big data can be helpful in education system itself, right? Next, big data can be utilizable with the healthcare system itself. Understand where it will help to understand the patients and consumers, nature of the patients, problems with the patients, type of solutions which are being desired, all of it. It helps to improve the personalized care also, right? Because we will able to understand the basic problem with every individual. When the problem with every individual can be sorted, obviously solutions for every individual can also be created, right? It helps to maintain online health records, right? Constantly monitoring the health records and constantly analyzing the health record will also help to provide the basic state of health with the fellow citizens also, right? Then it helps to boost the healthcare marketing also, right? What different types of the products are to be sold to different population according to demographics, diseases, population, all of it, right? The geography. Then the healthcare marketing can also be improvised. Analyze different trends of diseases, trends of pandemics, trends of epidemics, trends of pollution, trends of health related problems, trends of health records, trends of we can say disease diagnosis, right? Databases of the diagnosis, trends of it, the way we have seen it in data sciences also. A larger volume of it can be taken up, or larger set of it can be taken up with the big data itself. Help predict the health outcome also, right? What different outcomes and how to correlate these outcomes so as to improve the prognosis of a particular patient, right? The life time of a particular patient can be improvised over here. It can implement the preventive care strategies can also be brought in over here, right? Then optimize the growth, the overall growth of the health industry. All of it can be where healthcare and big data integration can be brought into. Next, big data can also be utilizable in digital agriculture, or improvising the complete state of agriculture also can be taken up, where a large scale data which is being generated in digital agriculture can be managed with the help of big data. Analysis can be generated, predictive analysis and models can be generated so that improvement in the agricultural cropping system, harvesting systems, post-harvest techniques and tools, and forecasting of the agriculture can be created so that benefits can be more realistic to the farmers, right? Like for example, it helps in creation of soil analysis and natural resource trend. Understand the basic natural resources. When we can understand the natural resources, we can predict the requirements, even the subsidies, right? Using soil analysis, if the nutrients are low, that means fertilizer requirement would be higher. That also means for a particular crop land where fertilizer requirement is higher, that must be targeted to give more subsidies. Where fertilizer requirement is lesser, so that it must be given lesser subsidies. So the equal amount of subsidy is being given. Say for example, one field requires 5 bags of fertilizer, another field requires 1 bag of fertilizer according to the nutrient. So it must be given, the one which requires 5 bags of fertilizer must be given 5 times the subsidy, right? And rather it must be given 1/5 of the subsidy. What is being given to this, right? So this would be targeted subsidy that can be given. What do I mean over here? That if a farmland has low nutrient and high nutrient, right, it requires 1 bag, it requires 5 bag, right? So the quantitative subsidy that must be given should be equal over here, right? So that on 5 bags, if it gains, on 1 bag if it gains 200 rupees as subsidy, then on 5 bags it must gain 1000 rupees as subsidy, because that will help to purchase more and more fertilizer for those where we have the low nutrients. So the data analysis will help understand this thing also. Then it will also help to create weather forecast trend also. What was the trend last year at this time on this day? What could be the trend this year? What is the global trend? What is the regional trend? That can be made over here. Then crop price assessment, market analysis, regional prices, global regional prices, national prices, electronic commerce based prices, or we can say different types of the cost which are being incurred, and the total actual cost which will be provided to the farmer. All of it can be assessed over here, right? Then it will help to create accurate crop prediction. What would be the per acre what is the per acre tillage, and what would be the per acre productivity per unit land? What would be the productivity? What would be the per unit land benefit to the farmer? That all can be generated over here, right, with the help of big data. Resource planning can be made. What different types of the resources must be utilized at what time? Irrigation, tractors, machineries, even if they are using drones, if it is a smart farmland. Livestock management, all different resource planning can be created. Automation of the data which is being generated from different sensors, right? These sensors can be light sensors, these sensors can be water sensors, soil sensors, they can be input, and automated data can be generated so that constant monitoring of the cropland can be created. Then understanding crop insurance, right? What should be the sum insured? What is the risk which is associated with a particular type of the crop? And then what should be the sum insured? That we have seen also earlier in data sciences. Risk assessment can be made. This is the most important thing. Risk associated to this, to this, to this, to this, right? And to this, all of this. There could be multiple risks which are being associated. So the risk assessment can be made. And then farmland condition and survey can be managed. And then from the automation data, from sensors, farmland conditions can be made, a survey data can be created, and that survey data would be utilized further for benefits which can be given to the farmers itself, right? So overall, big data will help to generate, will help to identify the weather challenges that we have, the soil and the health condition that we have, the plant protection that we strategies that should be taken up, and natural resource conservation strategies that should be taken up. Based on this, a farming decision would be taken up, a big farming decision would be taken up, which will help to understand the unique challenges that a farmer would face and provide the better decisions that should be that couldn't be created, right? Overall, how does it works? The big data in agriculture, how does it works? It helps to store the soil health data, temperature condition, plant health condition, rainfall condition, wind speed condition. And based on the data which is being gathered from the satellites, radars, plant sensors, and the local weather stations, all of it, a set of information is being created that helps to identify the risk. Once the risk is being covered, then we identify that what would be the nature of the crop, what would be the productivity, if there is a risk, what should be the insurance, how the resources must be managed, what input would be required. All of this can be taken up, and then what would be the output, from the farmland that can be assessed over here with the help of big data itself, right? So ultimately big data will help to provide better harvesting, smart annual planning of the resources also, right? Which type of the resource, what type of the resource, right? The resource wastage can be reduced, more saving, better crop monitoring. When resources are managed, the input cost can be reduced. Input cost can be easily reduced, and benefits, output gains can be increased constantly with the help of the big data analysis itself, right? So big data analysis would be helpful in the future of the Indian agriculture, or integrating agriculture with smart farming tools, right? Big data is useful in environment and wildlife conservation also, where in environment, if we understand, then environment modeling can be one thing where big data can be utilizable. Modeling, when we say, then the nature of pollutants, pollution trends, events which lead towards pollution, right? Then environment modeling, the natural resource management, forestation and vegetation, modeling and understanding the overall state of it, right? Climatic conditions and threats which are being posed. That can also be understood over here, right? Using big data. Then biodiversity, the extent of biodiversity, right? The distribution, threats, conservation strategies which are required, all of it can be brought in over here. So biodiversity management and conservation can be created over here, right? So overall big data can be helpful in not only environment management, wildlife conservation, and then environment and development, where we have environment risk management. And when we have the environment risk management which is being created, the two things can be fixed over here. The risk management associated with disaster, the disaster risk management can be predicted, can be generated, one thing as far as this is considered. And then environment impact assessment of different projects. So that will help in the actual development, or creating a balance between the environmental development and the activities which are being, or environmental management and the developmental activities. So the sustainable development can be actually practiced over here with the help of big data in the environmental conditions. With the natural resource modeling can also be generated, right? And management of it can be created. That will help in reducing waste which are generated, and also reducing the overshoot of the nutrients that we have. Overshoot means the overconsumption of the resources that we have. That can also be managed over here with the help of big data and big data management also, right? That would also be one aspect of it. So overall, various projects that we can see in environment, like the great elephant census, that is also population and the census, the overall distribution of the biodiversity we have seen. eBird, International Earth Cube project, etc. These are some of the projects which are being taken up with the help of big data and the wildlife conservation also, right? Next, quickly we can look up to big data can be useful in retail industry as well, where it can help to boost the demand of the products, different types of the products, different types of the supplement of that. Enhancing the customer satisfaction. The customer satisfaction can be improvised bring back the old customers or the cold customers which have gone out of the retail, right, because of any reason, constantly connecting them, the trends and the patterns, and providing the products which were required by those products, then bringing them back, right, upgrading store merchandising, etc. Increase the customer's bill value, because by providing the by understanding the trend on the basis of which the or the type of products that a particular customer or the consumer takes up, providing those type of the products will of course increase the bill, right, or the sale would increase customer footfall, and analyze the product purchase behavior for a particular customer or for a particular population can be something which can help to improvise the role of it in retail industry. Then it can be utilizable in banking sector also, where it can be utilizable in reducing the frauds as far as the portfolio frauds are considered, online network based frauds are considered, because it can consider various different types of the network traffic. Big data over the network help to manage the network itself, the network traffic itself, and it will help to analyze the trend of the threats, malwares which are being created, and help to protect the overall network also. Identify and acquiring the different types of the customers, right, identification of the customers and acquiring different customers, retaining customers, then enhancing customers experience also can also be improvised over here. Optimizing the operations of the banking system, right, meeting the by planning, management, internal management also, right, meeting the regulatory requirements also for the banking, improvising the product design, what type of the banking product must be created so that to supplement the needs which are required by different customers, and increasing the transparency in the banking system can also be something which can be created. So enhancing customer experience, retaining customers, identifying, acquiring customers, preventing frauds, etc. would be something which could also be one thing which can be taken up as the trend over here, right. Then it would be utilizable in automobile sector, where predictive maintenance and quality management can be created for automobiles. The supply chain logistics or analytics can be managed and created, and can be better fueled into to manage the supply. Then sales and marketing planning in automotive, what is the different taste of the customer, what different design strategies do they require, analyzing those and providing those in the market so that better marketing can be created. Connecting cars, or what different features are required from automobile, providing those or marketing those, or creating a buzz relative to a market, right. Connected cars and data for self-driven cars, a complete network of it would be created, where all the cars, they can remain connected to each other using IoT, and that data can be managed just like the Google drives we have, or the Google Maps we have. In the same way, all the drives can remain connected over IoT, and using that IoT based data, the actual platform of driverless car can be created, right. Road safety can be improvised, speed can be higher, congestion can be reduced, traffic management would be better, right. Cost and financial tracking can be improvised with the help of big data in the automobile sector. When we look up to big data in the driverless car, it will have various things which can be created, like the assisted driving, right, where remember the favorite routes, navigation, and show preferred location and route, etc. They can be taken up in assisted driving. And predict the hazardous driving conditions, weather, congestion, accidents, etc. Predict them, and predictive analysis will help to increase the passenger safety. Then constant vehicle tracking and fleet management, so that we will have the location services which are being created, which will help to improvise the vehicle's telematics. That means the movement, constant movement and location services, at what speed, at which route, in which way it is driving, right, which will help in assistive driving, predict the hazardous driving conditions, and find the cheapest fuel nearby, right. That can be created, or charging station for the battery driven fuels also, right. Then user preferences, site navigated, apps used, places visited, and routes, stepovers, etc. They can be provided on for the users itself. The nearby locations, etc. information, etc. can be provided. Then automobile sensors for engine temperature, battery status, oil and fuel levels, the odometer, the tire pressure, overloading, etc. All these sensors, they can be integrated over here. That will help to identify the basic movement of the vehicle itself also, right. Whether there could be any chance of breakage of this particular vehicle, or if we need to upgrade over certain things, then on-board diagnostic of the vehicle's health can be created with the help of big data itself. Then in transport, social media connect. In vehicle, infotainment services, play preferred music, evaluate car sharing. So the leisures for the passenger can also be improvised, right? So ultimately this will help to monitor the health, vehicle's health, enhance safety communication and collision warning system. That is the sensors that we have. So overall in this way, with the help of big data itself or collecting and analyzing the data itself, we'd be able to create the driverless car, and big data would become one of the most important tool for the driverless cars itself, right? Then it can be helpful, big data can be helpful in travel industry, where revenue management, gaining the revenue because customers can be suited according to what they demand, right? Repetition management, strategic management, because the type of services which are being demanded, they can be supplemented easily. Then customer experience, market research, target marketing can be created, because the customer experience, because feedback systems will help to improvise the customer experience, right? If there are any problems, then they can be sorted also. Market research can be created, what different types of the customers, what different sites of, are being preferred. Then targeted marketing can be created, come to this place, that highlights, those highlights can be created in travel industry, and it could be boosted, right? In an event where post-COVID conditions are to be managed, then big data would be far more utilizable for countries like India to boost the travel industry or the services which are being provided in travel industry itself. One of the most important aspect of big data would be in the utility of big data in Industry 4.0 or the fourth industrial revolution. In the fourth industrial revolution, where automation of the industrial devices is being expected, or where we expect that the machines or the automated tools would be utilized in